In a world where many things divide the Star Wars fandom, one thing unites them all: their desire to see Anakin Skywalker, the chosen one, in The Rise of Skywalker. Like, for real, that's pretty much what we all want, and I've got some good news, Internet. I think we're gonna get it. It's like the news, but for nerds. Today's shout-out goes to Liz Gutierrez. Indeed, Dennis Lawson is related to Ewan McGregor. Make sure you stay to the end of this video where we will ask another nerd card question. What's up, everybody? Happy Thursday to you, or should I say Happy Halloween? Wait a minute. It's Halloween? This doesn't feel right. Much better. Dad? Okay, so make sure to chop like, but let's get right into this news, guys. As I said at the top, Anakin Skywalker. It's the thing everybody wants in The Rise of Skywalker. We're going to break down all of the latest info that really does make us believe that he will actually be in the film. But I do want to stop here for a second, and although this video will be spoiler-free, it is important to make mention that there is nothing about Anakin Skywalker in the leaks, which is, one more thing that people have a problem with when it comes to the leaks, but we won't get into all of that right now. But I just wanted to say that, look, the possibility of Anakin being in the film is actually kind of high, but there's no evidence to suggest, from the leaks at least, that he is in this movie. Now, I actually want to start this story by kind of talking about Hayden Christiansen a little bit, his relationship with the Star Wars fandom, and just LA and Hollywood life in general. So it was actually a really big deal when Hayden was at Celebration for Star Wars in 2017 and then again in 2019. And this was really wild, man, because he had distanced himself from the Star Wars fandom and from Hollywood life in general. And there's actually some recent interviews with him talking about this. It's really interesting stuff. Basically, he just was dealing with a lot and decided to walk away from acting and from LA life because he felt like he was just riding off of the fame of Star Wars and Anakin Skywalker. And he talks about how it just didn't feel right. And look, this is just a thing. Bottom line, fans were really not nice to this guy, right? And so, even though he won't really talk about it these days because he's just a good sport, the reality was, fans were kind of dicks to this guy, and he didn't really want to come back and be involved with anything Star Wars, and you can't really blame him. Like, we go back, and the prequel hate was real. The prequel hate was kind of out of control. But now, 20 years later, people really warmed up to those movies. And the bottom line is, people that liked those films when they were young people have now grown up. And they're like, no, I like the prequels. And then we have a lot of people that hated them that are now kind of like prequel sympathizers. Where basically, at this point, we're like, yeah, no, it was fun. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, there was a lot I didn't like about it. It wasn't what I wanted. But at the end of the day, it was cool. So the prequels are in a good spot. This is awesome, right? But Hayden coming back in 2017 was kind of a sign that Disney was looking to repair that relationship between the prequels and fans, but really like the prequels and their content, because they had kept pretty far away from prequel stuff in a lot of the official Disney stuff coming out of the purchase. This was Force Awakens. I mean, JJ, notorious prequel hater, didn't want to do any of that, kept very far away from that. Rogue One, big departure from anything prequel. So Disney was distancing themselves as well. So honestly, the narrative online was that, look, this seems to be a really feel-good story. Hayden's coming back to the fandom. I'm sure he was really nervous at how he'd be received in 2017. People loved him. It was a great experience because, prequel memes, I talk about this a lot, but, the prequels sort of found a second life with the memes. I know it's ridiculous to say, and some people out there are like, Josh, what are you talking about? I'm telling you guys, it's real. They literally helped the state of those movies in pop culture because of the memes. The memes are just incredible. So there was a lot of good fun had at Star Wars Celebration in Orlando in 2017. I loved it. It was awesome seeing him and Ian McDiarmid talk about their scenes back and forth. It was really, really cool stuff. So what had started as a feel-good moment kind of gave way to the possibility of Anakin coming back in the film once Disney really hammered down on this whole end of the Skywalker saga business. Because when they made that the official tagline for the film, how they were going to market Episode 9, people were like, whoa, end of the Skywalker saga. Well, what about the chosen one? And so right then and there, people started hypothesizing online that, yes, Hayden Christensen would be coming back in Episode 9 and that Anakin Skywalker would play an important role to close up the Skywalker saga. And then some little things that Disney started to do kind of made us think that, yeah, we were onto something. Most notably, at a Fan Expo event in Salt Lake City, Ian McDiarmid and Hayden Christensen were supposed to appear on a panel together. But get this, the Fan Expo event was literally threatened by Disney. Disney was going to sue them if they didn't pull that panel because of what they were afraid for spoilers for The Rise of Skywalker. Like, that was a kerfuffle. I'm sure you heard about that online, and people were like, whoa, Hayden Christiansen in episode 9 confirmed? I think so. There's also a lot of newer bits where, like, Disney is deleting posts with Hayden Christiansen, or they're altering posts that have to do with Hayden Christiansen and what he is doing out there, because he's been going to, like, children's hospitals with Ian McDiarmid, which is the best, most memeable, hilarious, self-aware thing that this guy could be doing. It's perfect, but in either case, Disney's been acting really weird about it. And actually, I want to point out a recent article on Esquire.com that sums up the whole situation really well. It breaks down a lot of these weird things that Disney is doing, and it's basically talking about the same thing I'm talking about, that because Disney keeps doing this, it's lending itself to the theory that Hayden will indeed be in episode 9. And so basically one of two things are going on here. Either they do have plans to put him in episode 9, and they're altering all of these things because they're trying to keep that a big secret and a big reveal for the movie. And so that's where all of this Disney stuff is coming from. Or they have zero plans to put him into the film, and they're doing all of these altercations and canceling events and doing all of this stuff because they don't want the expectation that he will be in the movie out there. Like, they don't want fans to be like, oh, Hayden Christensen's going to be in this movie, it's going to be dope, and then he's not in it, and they're like, dude, what?
Hold on. This whole operation was your idea.
But I've got good news, Internet. If the best indicator of future behavior or current behavior is past behavior, then I think when you look at the behavior of Disney and this Hayden Christensen thing, it's pretty obvious that he is going to be in the movie and that they are screwing up by trying to hide the fact that he will be in there. They'd better just to leave it alone, right? But they can't help themselves. And so, yeah, I do think Hayden Christensen is going to be in the film. But, and here's where we'll get, like, I guess, a teensy bit spoilery with it. The fact that he's not in any of the leaks kind of indicates that whatever role he will have is likely being shot with a skeleton crew. It's CGI heavy. He's probably just going to appear as a Force ghost. He'll just be put into the film for some kind of a scene, much like at the end of Return of the Jedi, when he's just there and they altered it so that it's Hayden. It's probably going to be a scene like that, right? Not super impactful on the story, but nonetheless really cool for Star Wars fans. Now, that's probably the way it's going to go, but here's the thing. I hope, and honestly, this would be amazing. And if they pull something like this off, and they've just truly hidden something like this from all the leakers, from everything that's going on, this would be incredible. What I long for is a scene with dialogue with Anakin Skywalker.
I don't like sand.
Dialogue with the Chosen One, speaking to Ben Solo, speaking to his grandson. Because, look, if Anakin is tying this whole thing together, if it's the Skywalker saga, right, and Ben has literally idolized Vader from a young age, turned to the dark side for him, I'll finish what you started, all of that. If there could be a scene in which Anakin Skywalker explains to Ben Solo what really went down and helps in the turning back to the light for Ben Solo, man, that would be powerful. That would be a powerful scene. That's what I'm hoping for. Unfortunately, I don't think that's the case. But either way, guys, I think we're getting Hayden Christensen in Star Wars Episode 9 playing Anakin Skywalker. So that's the news out there, and his new images from Galaxy's Edge and the visit he had at Galaxy's Edge and the weird behavior of Disney around those photos and those posts is the latest bit that indicates that, yes, he will be in the film. But I want to know, what do you think about all of this? Do you think we're going to get Anakin Skywalker in Episode 9? Do you think it's just going to be a Force Ghost scene? Do you think it could be something epic, like a dialogue scene between him and his grandson? Whatever you're thinking, let me know in the comment section below. And now let's check the nerd card before we get out of here. I want to know, what was the trilogy that Dan and Dave were working on going to focus on? This was in a lot of the Variety reporting. It just came out. It's a really interesting concept and a thing they were going to tackle within the Star Wars lore. I want to know, what were they going to tackle? Answer that question in the comment section below. As I always say, I hope you're having an awesome and a nerdy day, and I'll see you in the next video.